It's Tharoor versus Congress again, since Congress MP Shashi Tharoor has spoken in favour of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. His own party is now at odds with him. Now, senior Kerala Congress leader K. Muralidharan has dropped a bombshell. He stated that Tharoor will not be invited to any party programs in Thiruvananthapuram until he changes his stance on the national security issue. He also mentioned that Tharoor, a Congress working committee member, is no longer considered, as he quoted, one of us. Earlier, Tharoor said that the nation must come first and the parties are merely vehicles to build a better country. He said that all parties should unite for national interests.
Politics is, unfortunately or otherwise, in any democracy, it's about competition. And as a result, when people like me say that we respect our parties, we have certain values and convictions that keep us in our parties, but we need to cooperate with other parties in the interests of national security, the question you asked, sometimes the parties feel that is disloyal to them, and that becomes a big problem. Which is your first loyalty? To my mind, the nation comes first. Parties are a means of making the nation better. So to my mind, whichever party you belong to, the objective of that party is to create a better India in its own way. Now, parties have every right to disagree about the best way of doing that, the best way of making a better India. Some of us may say, let's say, more capitalism, some may say more socialism, some may be in favor of certain kinds of regulatory controls, some may be against too much regulation. So you have different points of view, that's fine. But ultimately, we must all be committed to a better India, a safer India, an India whose borders are protected, whose territory is safe, whose people's well-being can be nurtured. And that is my commitment. And that's, if we hold that ideal up, that kind of spirit should cross all parties, not just bipartisan, but multi-partisan.
The final authority will be the Congress High Command. They should take whether action, they can take action, or they can allow him to continue the party. That will be decided by the Congress High Command. But at present in Kerala situation, we are not ready to cooperate with him because he is always attacking Congress party. He is attacking Indira Gandhi. He is always opposing Rahul Gandhi's statement. Now the Rahul Gandhi statement answer is giving not Narendra Modi, but unfortunately Shashi Tharoor. So in Kerala people, we are very much upset for his performance.
Shashi Tharoor, in an editorial, praised Prime Minister Modi as prime asset for India, lauding his energy, dynamism and global engagement, and even urged greater backing for Modi's diplomacy. Listen into some earlier comments by Tharoor.
So far, I must say that what we've seen from the press statements by both the Prime Minister and by President Trump are very encouraging because it looks like some of the big concerns we all had have been addressed. For example, on the question of trade and tariffs, they've decided to sit down together and do a serious negotiation that will conclude by the fall, which is the autumn, September, October of this year. I think that's a very good outcome because otherwise the fear was there might be some hasty decisions made in Washington which would have affected our exports. This way there is time to discuss and negotiate. I welcome that.
I'm still wiping the egg off my face because I was the one person in the parliamentary debate who actually criticized the Indian position at the time, back in February 22, on the well-worn grounds that Espen will understand, because he and I talked about all this in my UN days, that there was a violation of the UN Charter, that there had been a violation of the principle of the inviolability of borders, of the sovereignty of a member state, namely Ukraine, and we had always stood for the inadmissibility of the use of force to settle international disputes. And all of those principles, I said, had been violated by one party and we should have condemned it. Well, a couple of years later, 3 years later, it does look like I'm the one with egg on my face because clearly the policy has meant that India has actually a prime minister who can hug both the president of Ukraine and the president of Moscow 2 weeks apart and be accepted in both places.